Are you looking to move to Phoenix and you live in the state of Illinois, or maybe even better yet, Chicago? This is the video for you. We're going to discuss all the differences that make up really what the pro and con list should be if you're thinking about moving to Phoenix and you live in Chicago. They are wildly different cities, wildly different states, and we're going to prove to you why we believe Phoenix is the better one and the best spot for anyone, let alone you, to call your next home. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to cover that and more right now. Let's go. Guys, my name is Kelly Cook. I'm a local realtor here, and we service the entire Valley of the Sun, the entire Phoenix area, and all the suburbs. So if you have any questions about anything, please give us a call. We would love to chat with you about any questions you have, and you can reach us there at 888-KCREG-11, okay? We are passionate, guys, about helping everyone be educated more about the Phoenix area because it is a booming, and amazing city to call home, okay? For a lot of different reasons we're gonna cover here today, all right? Please comment below, let us know what you think there. We'd love to hear your comments, and guys, ring the notification bell and destroy that subscribe button, please, and hit us up with a like. We'd love that because that way we can get our video out to more and more people in the YouTube universe, all right? Thank you guys very much, and today we're discussing the differences between Chicago and Phoenix, okay? And let me tell you guys, they are different. They're on the opposite ends of the spectrum in almost every single category that we could think of or find when researching for this video, okay? So we're gonna start off real quick by letting you know the background here in that my sister lives in Chicago, and she's been there for well over a decade, and she has lived everywhere from the far west suburbs of Naperville and Wheaton all the way down to the city where she lived for years and years in the West Loop. Now she has moved out to another suburb, and she's gone there and kind of yo-yoed back and forth, so she has a good perspective. Now when I go and visit her, I get a decent perspective too because, you know, not only been to Chicago for fun, to go to a Cubbies game. That's right. By the way, that is awesome. That's a great time. The song at the end, go Cubs, win the day, whatever. How go, that amazing hot dogs. Oh, Wrigleyville, just an amazing experience. Okay, I digress. But I've been there for that, and of course, to go see her. I've been to a Northwestern game, football game, things of that nature. But it's just a blast when you go there a certain time of year. Other times of the year, debatable, right? But we're gonna jump into that right now, okay? Let's first start off with cost of living situation, okay? Before we go to which place is cheaper, let's start off by saying that Phoenix is obviously the 5th largest metropolitan area in the entire United States. In Chicago, it's bigger. 3rd largest metropolitan area in the United States by population. And the population of Chicago currently is 9.5 million people, and the population of Phoenix, Arizona is just under 5 at about 4.7 million people. So a big difference when it comes to population, but huge difference when it comes to square miles. Phoenix is the largest city in the entire country when it comes to land mass, right, of square miles, because everything in Phoenix is kind of spread out, whereas Chicago, more of it is vertical, right, as opposed to horizontal. All right, so that is one difference right there. Now, when it comes to median household income, this is interesting. Median household income, with 2 people obviously bringing in income to the household, Chicago is currently at $58,200 for household income on the median size, and Phoenix is at $57,500. So less than $1,000 separates the median income for a household. Okay. However, the cost of living in Chicago is 9.4% higher than Phoenix, okay? So your dollar is stretched a lot further in Phoenix, Arizona than it is in Chicago. So on average, the person in Chicago is making just a little bit more, less than $1,000 a year per household, but for some reason, because, well, we know what the reason is, expenses, taxes, etc., your dollar doesn't go as far. So if you kept that same amount of money, came to Phoenix, Arizona, you would get a lot more for it. And the lifestyle, the weather, the outdoor activities, the entertainment is a little better too, okay? Now, that's debatable, I know. So don't give me a bunch of hate mail, but please comment below. You can hate me there, that's fine. I want to be a little controversial because I want you to know, if you want to stick up for Chicago and say why Chicago is better in all phases, let me know, because I want to be further educated. All I know is Phoenix is amazing. Chicago is an amazing city too, for many, many different reasons, but there's also a lot of reasons right now where the trend line is going down for Chicago and the trend line is going up for Phoenix, okay? Now, let's go over a couple different things here. Okay, first, let's make sure we understand that right now, Phoenix is the city in the country that has the third most amount of Chicagoans, okay? Number one is actually Tucson. So number one is Tucson, a major city just south of Phoenix by a couple hours here in Arizona. So Arizona has two of the cities where the most Chicagoans have moved to or call home while growing up in Chicago. The number two city is Los Angeles, and number three, like we just said, is the Phoenix area. So big, huge Chicago population base down here, which is awesome because when it comes to spring training, we have both Chicago baseball teams down here in the month of March and some of February, okay? We have the Cubbies and we have the White Sox for you Southsiders, right? The White Sox, right? The White Sox are located actually on the west side, West Valley of Phoenix, and the Cubs are located on the East Valley. So they're opposite ends because they don't like each other, right? Which is apropos when we're talking spring training in the geographical location of Phoenix, Arizona. But still easy to get to for both, and just a great time to go sit out on the lawn, watch some baseball, and enjoy a hot dog for a fraction of the cost of what it would cost to go to a Major League Baseball game during the regular season. So that is one really, really cool thing about Chicago being in Phoenix. Now, one thing I learned too, or I saw when I first, when I went to Chicago as opposed to Phoenix, is you just don't see a lot of police officers in the Phoenix area. Now you see some, obviously there's a big police force in all the different suburbs across the Phoenix area, but not to the extent you see when I visited Chicago. Much more heavy police presence. I don't know, it's because there's well, let's be clear, the crime rates are lower in Phoenix, okay, overall. So I guess that's the reason why, you have more people being pulled over, you have more of a police presence to protect against other, crime activity that you just don't have as much in Phoenix, okay? So that's one thing we noticed. When it comes to transportation, now Chicago has a way better public transportation system, right? With the L and all the ways you can get around town and so on and so forth, whereas Phoenix just doesn't have that. Now we do have the light rail, which is our version of the Chicago L train, right? But it's not anywhere close, right? Not anywhere close. I mean, it's small. It does not go, underground at all. And it just goes to a few different places throughout downtown Phoenix, and of course into Tempe and Mesa, and then up the central corridor from downtown and uptown area. That's about it. Whereas Chicago is, it's a major part of someone's transportation and how they get around the city to do their normal shopping, dining, work, obviously, and just live in life, right? So public transportation is a better system in Chicago. Certainly that beats out the Phoenix area when it comes to that. But what Phoenix is better in Chicago on is the roads, okay? The interstate system. Less traffic, less time spent in your car driving to work or maybe your kid's game or whatever it is you're going to, because there's just less traffic when getting around the city. It flows really well in the Phoenix area. Now, obviously, when snowbirds come down from Chicago and other places in the wintertime, you can tell the traffic does increase. However, overall, the traffic flow and the cleanliness of the interstate and expressways are second to none. Guys, there's some places in Chicago where if you get off, make a wrong turn off the expressway at the interstate, you're trying to get back on as soon as you can because it's a little scary, right? Let's be real about that. But in Phoenix, there aren't too many places like that. Are there some bad areas in Phoenix? Of course there are, where crime activity is higher than other places, no doubt about it. But not to the extent where, at least for me, I felt like, oh boy, I need to get back on the interstate quick because I made a wrong turn here. So that is one big thing. And the cleanliness, guys, is second to none. I mean, I don't care if you're in any other state. I've never met another state. So this is not a knock on Chicago necessarily, because I haven't met another state that has an interstate system that is as clean as Phoenix or Arizona's, right? Really Phoenix's interstate system. You have underground bridges instead of going up with bridges, what a lot of cities do. They dug down and went, under for the interstate, and you have these murals on the side of the interstate etched in the concrete of different, birds or whatever it may be, pictures of things on the side of, desert animal, plant life on the side of the interstates, which are just beautiful, guys. And the rubberized asphalt, amazing, guys. And no potholes. Now, are there some potholes here and there? of course, there's some here and there, but guys, the amount of potholes in Arizona compared to anywhere else in the country, especially Chicago, it doesn't even compare. It does not compare because there's hardly any. And the rubberized asphalt keeps everything kind of quiet. And again, you don't have to worry about snow plows and shoveling snow and whatnot because we don't get that, no snow. And so you don't have to worry about that. And so the potholes in the concrete, the expansion and compression, all that stuff, right, isn't near as severe as it is with the salt eating away at the concrete and so on and so forth as it is in Chicago. So another cool thing that Phoenix does have Chicago beat on for sure. Now, segueing perfectly into that conversation is the weather. Now, we're not going to spend a boatload of time on the weather because everyone knows in Phoenix it is hot. It's the desert. But guys, overall, the weather is just superior to Chicago's. I think everyone pretty much agree on that. The highs per month compared to the highs per month in Chicago aren't even a comparison. Now, granted, those 3 to 4 months from June, July, August, and September, they're hot. Highs are, for the most part, triple digits or more. And so obviously that's a lot more warmer than Chicago. But you also have humidity in Chicago, and in Arizona you don't have that. Now, it's still hot. Let's be very clear about that. But it's not that wet feel when you go out. Your paper wilts, right? Because it's just so much moisture in the air, and it's just thick, right? It's, you breathe it in, right? Because it's so hot in the summertime with the heat and the humidity. So we only have one of those two things, which is nice. And the reality is even when it's really hot in the summertime, you can still go out early in the morning, 5 o'clock, sunrise, the sun is up, right? 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 a.m. and go hike, go bike, go play 9 holes of golf. And you can play 18 if you're a little more braver than I am. Play 18, get done by 10, 10:30. You're still good. Just hydrate, wear sunscreen, and a nice little Crocodile Dundee hat or whatnot, and you're good to go. So whereas obviously if it's January in Chicago, you can't do that. Even if it warms up to maybe 37 degrees on a Wednesday, you still can't go out and play nine holes of golf because 37 degrees. I mean, I guess you could if there's no snow on the ground, but that's cold. Like I don't want to go do that. It just feels different in your hands, right? When you hit the ball, I mean, it's just not. That's not my idea necessarily of a lot of fun. So in Arizona, you can still do that even though it gets blistering hot in those months in the afternoon. Just prepare and you're good to go. So that is a big benefit, the weather, huge benefit when it comes to the Chicago weather. Guys, I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, and it's very similar to Chicago. Now, not as windy, but it's still pretty windy because it's so flat in Nebraska. So very similar with that lake effect wind. And it's just, man, it gets cold in the wintertime. It can be cold in the summertime too. Matter of fact, one thing about the weather that we don't have in Arizona is the huge fluctuation of temperature throughout a 24-hour period. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about you're from the Midwest, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about, where it's like beautiful. You wake up, it's 70 degrees, 65 degrees, maybe 60 degrees, whatever. And it's beautiful, not a cloud in the sky. You're going to go out and maybe your kid has a baseball game that day. You're going to go out and do something on the lake, whatever. And all of a sudden by 11 a.m., clouds roll in, temperature drops 10, 15, 20 degrees. It gets a little chilly and it starts raining, right? Right? We don't have that in Arizona. If it's going to be cold, you'll know it when you wake up. If it's going to be warm, you'll know it when you wake up. And obviously it fluctuates, but the temperature doesn't swing with rain and wind and all that stuff coming in. The only time of the year it may do that is monsoon season, which is July, typically into August, where it gets a little humidity, like we're talking about 20%, not 60%, and it can dump rain for a period of time, and then sometimes maybe just stop after 15, 30 minutes and just go away, and it kind of clears up. So that's the only time it kind of fluctuates like that. Whereas for the Midwest, that can happen any time of the year, pretty much any day. So that's the weather difference between Chicago and Phoenix. Okay, let's talk about taxes. Ooh, do we really want to talk about taxes? Because guys, in Arizona, it's not even close. It is such a much lower tax rate state. It's not even funny compared to Illinois. You're talking sales tax. Chicago's one of the highest taxed states in the entire country, or Illinois, as I should say, and Arizona is one of the lower ones, right? When it comes to sales tax. When it comes to property tax, guys, our property tax is so low, especially compared to Illinois. I mean, you're talking about 0.0068 times 12 is your yearly tax rate. Typically, when it comes to a home here in Arizona that you own, it might be 3 times that in Chicago somewhere. My sister's tax bill, I looked at it and I almost fell in my chair. I mean, it was like, oh, you're paying what in taxes? I mean, it's unbelievable, guys. But that's the nature of the deal when it comes to the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago, as opposed to Phoenix, which is almost just the opposite. Now, there's a study done by NerdWallet, and what they came to find out, they did some measurement of the effective tax burden difference between, say, Chicago and Arizona, and what it came out to be was 2.39% for someone living in the state of Illinois, and for someone living in the state of Arizona, it was only 0.72%. So that's a big difference, guys, when you talk about the income you have at your disposal. Whereas that money just goes out the window to some sort of government entity, and in Arizona, a lot of the money stays right here in your pocket where it belongs, right? In my humble opinion. Okay. Now, obviously, you want to have good firefighters, you want to have good police, you want to have good teachers, and so you don't ever want to stop paying taxes at the expense of that. That is for sure, and that's my personal belief, right? But unfortunately, when it comes to taxes, there's a lot more taxes on certain entities or people, or just mom and pop, whatever, that go to things that just aren't noble causes, and you guys know what I mean. Now, to that extent, what they always say, what's that line they always say? Don't ever talk about religion and politics. Well, we're going to talk about religion and politics just briefly, right? I don't want to get my head cut off here, and I'm going to just keep it surface level, but we're going to touch on it real quick, right? Because it's part of the difference of the makeup of these two different states and two different cities, right? So let's talk about religion really quick. This is interesting because in Arizona, what I noticed when I first got down here, and it's still to be true today, in Phoenix, is you have a lot of more big, super mega churches, right? That you see around different parts of the city, right? Non-denominational, big churches, things of that nature, as compared to a lot of older cities like Boston or Chicago, where you have more of. You can have mega churches there too, don't get me wrong, but you have more of the Catholic, old school, with the steeple churches, that were built, a century ago or whatnot. You just don't have as much of that here in the Phoenix area. Why, I'm not sure, but maybe because religion is trending the other way a little bit. I don't know, but that's where it is, because everything's newer here in the Phoenix area for the most part, as opposed to like an older city like on the East Coast or Chicago. Now, when it comes to Mormonism, there is a lot of a big Mormon population here in the East Valley, primarily in the Phoenix area, in the Gilbert-Chandler area, because I guess for the reason that a lot of people who are of the Mormon faith have migrated down from the Utah area, and so it's a big contingent down there of that, and you see a lot of those churches of the Latter-day Saints around certain parts of Phoenix as well. Now, when it comes to the political landscape, not to get political here, guys, but there is a political makeup that is in Illinois as opposed to Arizona, and they're kind of on other ends of the spectrum, or opposite ends of the spectrum. So in Illinois, you have about 28% that are Republican, and you have about 70% that are Democrat, and obviously a small independent makeup there. Now you come and you compare that to the state of Arizona, and it is becoming more of a purple state, they say, right, where it's more balanced. But you do have a population that's about 55% Republican and about 43% Democrat or so, and a small independent makeup. But again, I think you saw with the last election that obviously Arizona became a purple state, more so than a red state, which it has been for the last couple decades. And so maybe that's turning, maybe it's not, maybe it's just the that one election for whatever reason. So anyway, it is a different political landscape when it comes to that. So what I love about Arizona, it's not just heavily on one side, right? Illinois is, right? No matter if you're red or blue, Republican, Democrat, whatever, if you're on one side completely, then if you're of the other opinion, then you just don't really have much of your voice heard. Where in Arizona, because it's so close, whatever opinion you're on, you can have your voice heard. So that's kind of cool when it comes to the state of Arizona as well, as opposed to a state where it's just fully one-sided, right? And you just don't have a say if you're of the minority opinion when it comes to the political landscape. So that is my quick synopsis of the religion, politic topics that everyone says don't ever talk about, right? So hopefully that was okay. It was enough information just to go down the middle of the road for you guys, so that you guys understand the differences between Illinois and Arizona when it comes to those two things. Okay, guys, we can't talk about Chicago and not talk about food, right? Now, by the way, Phoenix is up and coming when it comes to the food scene. I'm telling you guys, if you've not been down to Phoenix and driven around and been to some of these unique mom and pop, especially restaurants, you're missing out, because Phoenix is amazing and up and coming when it comes to the food scene. Now, is it Chicago? Probably not. Chicago is known for its food, and Chicago has some amazing restaurants, right? Some amazing food. You can't talk about food in Chicago without talking about pizza, deep dish pizza. Now, We have Lou Malnati's out here in Phoenix right now. Now, is it the same? I don't know. That's a difference of opinion, but they do say they keep the same pans that they had in the Chicago restaurant for decades and decades, and they just obviously, with all that grease and that stuff, whatever, that flavor built up in those pans, they brought them out to Scottsdale here in the Phoenix area. So the flavor is pretty darn good, I will say that. So definitely Chicago has a huge imprint when it comes to pizza and certain food groups. Across the country, right? Chicago-based pizza is huge. We have a couple of other pizza restaurants as well that have kind of mimicked that Chicago-based pizza and are phenomenal to go visit. Now, when it comes to Phoenix restaurant, the Phoenix food scene, our number one ethnicity for food is going to be Mexican food. Guys, we have some amazing Mexican food, some of the best out there I've ever been to across the entire country. And here are some of those mom and pop Mexican restaurants that if you're visiting in town, I highly recommend you go to eat. All right, one of those restaurants is Testo Mexican Kitchen. The other one is Ta Carbon. The other one is Presidio Coquina. And the other one is Barrio Cafe. Now, there are other restaurants as well that are mom and pop. A lot of those are in the city of Phoenix, more towards the uptown, downtown area, but some of those are also in other places throughout the Phoenix metro area too. But if you're looking for a good Mexican, guys, I'm telling you, just go online. You will see some good ones, and you'll be like, I've never heard of that before. Exactly, and it's awesome. There are some highly rated ones that you will love to go test out. Trust me. Okay. Now, that being said, we also have some other great food. Now, Asian food, there's a couple good ones in the Phoenix area, but Asian food is not one of the better popular ones in the Phoenix area. The sports bar scene is phenomenal in the Phoenix area. Now, it's American food, so how do you go wrong with that? I don't know. We're in America, so you probably shouldn't go wrong with American food, but phenomenal, even though it is America, it's phenomenal food here in the Phoenix area when it comes to sports bars and bar food and burgers and brats and things of that nature. But also too, we have some Persian and some Thai food that's really good as well. The Persian Room is a great place to go eat in Scottsdale if you have a chance to go there. Those are just a few of the restaurants, of the many restaurants on the food scene when it comes to Phoenix. So overall, is Chicago probably better? Yeah, it's gonna be hard to beat Chicago anywhere you go in the country. But guys, I'm telling you right, Phoenix is not what it was 20 to 30 years ago when it comes to the food scene. It is leaps and bounds, almost like the appreciation of homes, right? And the population growth has done that with it. And people that are relocating from other parts of the country are bringing some of their recipes and their restaurant ideas that they may have had other places in other parts of the country down with them here to the Phoenix area. Okay, last but not least, what we thought of a topic here that's noteworthy to discuss would be the guns, okay, and the gun laws. Now, obviously in Illinois, you're on this side of the spectrum. In Phoenix, you're on that side of the spectrum, guys. Phoenix is an open carry state, meaning you can just go down to a gun shop and you can fill out a brief application and you can receive a gun. And then when you have that gun, you can actually carry it on your hip, right? You don't have to have it concealed in the state of Arizona. Now, does that mean you have cowboys running around everywhere with pistols on the side, and a holster and a 6-shooter? No. In fact, I've only seen maybe someone carrying on the side of their hip, on the outside of their belt, whatever, a handful of times, maybe less than a dozen times in my 17 years being in Phoenix. But there are a lot of people who do carry, they just typically carry concealed. It's amazing, guys, the amount of people that say they have a gun in their car or a gun in their briefcase or bag when they go to places because, they can in Arizona. And, to some respect, that is, I think, a big reason why Arizona overall is safer. Obviously, I don't want to get involved with the politics of that because some people are very much so against it, but a lot of people are very much for it. And the Second Amendment is a big, hot topic in the state of Arizona, and a lot of people in Arizona do believe in that and the right to carry and bear arms. So if you own a gun business or an ammo business in Arizona, you're probably going to do pretty good because the people that live down here, for the most part, right, not an overwhelming majority necessarily, but a majority definitely enjoy having a firearm and so on and so forth. So that is the difference where if you go to Illinois, it's not like that. They have much stricter gun control laws for the average person that wants to try to get a gun of some type. So overall, in conclusion, I just noticed that really people in Phoenix just seem to be a lot more happier than people living in the Chicago area. Maybe it's because they get to keep more of their money when they earn income. Maybe it's because they get not sit in their car as long when they're driving in traffic. Maybe it's because of the 300 days of sunshine they have, right? And less gloomy weather when they're outside throughout the year. So there's a lot of reasons we discuss, but overall, it just seems that everyone's happier living in Phoenix, Arizona. So if you have a chance to move down here, guys, or at least visit first to see what it's all about, please do so. And come in the worst time of the year. Come when it's July or August, the hottest time of the year, where most people, a lot of people leave and go up north to 2 hours away to one of the northern cities in Arizona for some cool reprieve, or maybe go to the beach in California. But come in the worst time. If you come down in January through April, you're gonna fall in love, I guarantee it, or even December or November, right? But if you come in the worst time and check it out, and you can still do everything you kind of want to do, you have to just be more strategic about when you do it throughout the day, because it gets hot during the afternoons especially, right? So anyways, guys, that's the video on being in Chicago or being in Phoenix, right? And which one would you choose? Comment below and let us know what your thoughts are about Chicago, Phoenix, and how they compare, and what you would do or what you would add to this video that maybe we forgot to leave out as a relevant big topic. Guys, we really appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Call us. Any questions? We are passionate about helping people move and relocate down here to Phoenix. Guys, we have helped, in my 17 years, I've helped at least 100 people, at least 100 people from Chicago relocate down here, specifically to the Phoenix area, and buy a house, and they love it, guys. I've had hardly anyone I can think of, actually no one I can think of, actually permanently move back after being experiencing the Phoenix area and living down here for some period of time. So guys, give us a call, email us at info@kellycookhomes.com. Check us out on our Instagram page on a daily basis. We are posting content for your personal education and enjoyment at Kelly Cook Real Estate Group. Thank you again, guys. Really appreciate your time, and always make it a great day. We really appreciate you. We'll see you on the next video. And don't forget,